Can you imagine what would happen if someone had to write a biography about you or based solely on your voice memos that you have saved?
It would be chaos for me.
It would be
absolute chaos.
Mine would be random sound effects, like random temp sound effects for stuff. So it would just be like me sitting on my couch 80 times.
Temp voiceovers for things. Like that's a lot of mine as well. And like awful like recordings of songs that I started to write and then gave up on.
Oh, mine are like songs that my kids wrote or something. Like I've got old recordings. Or like sometimes when my kids are acting up, I'll record a voice memo of them just so I have evidence to show Arlie, like, this is how hard my life was today as a parent.
Yes, it's a lot of like voiceovers for commercials. I've got.
Can you play us some of the songs that you've written?
Hey everyone, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Seth.
And welcome back to the Writers Room Game Show. It's the podcast where every week we generate an original feature film idea from scratch in under 60 minutes, working from a set of random prompts given to us by a big Hollywood studio.
It's real this week.
What's that?
It's real this week. We're really doing it this week.
It's real this week. We're actually playing the game show. We're the contestants. We're the hosts. Guys, just real quick up front, don't forget to rate and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I always forget to say this, and the business people behind this podcast are always pestering me to do the shout outs about rating and reviewing on Apple Podcasts.
Just off screen, you guys don't realize this, but like right on the edges of the frame are just a big pile of businessmen wearing suits and crunching numbers, typing in calculators.
I love the phrase pile of businessmen. Mm-hmm. It's not a group. They're actually like all piled on top of each other.
Yeah, they're not standing. They're all laying on top of each other in a pile because there's really no room. If they were all standing, they have to, for efficiency's sake. It's just floor to ceiling businessmen off to the side. Anyway.
Yes, and Writers Room Game Show, Apple Podcasts, give us a review. What we haven't done in a while is read some reviews off.
Okay, do we have any new reviews?
You know, we should check just in case. This is improv. We have not planned this, but we might as well check and see. We probably haven't had any new ones since the last time we did this. Okay, we got a few. This was the end of last year. They said this is from Jacob.pad.
Yes, Jacob.pad.
Yes, Jacob.pad. He said, Spotify says this is one of my favorite podcasts. I guess I'd have to agree.
I've never listened to it.
And then he says, Ryan and Seth are lovely. Wow.
He's right. It's true.
He is completely right. So that could be you if you
You could be Jacob.pad. Spotify could be telling you what you love, and what you love could be us.
Oh, man. Seth, have you had a good week? Have you been working on your movie some more?
I've been working on some fun Maxon stuff. I've been working on my movie, of course, and I've been working on a couple other things always. But
love it.
I will say this. Well, no, I won't say this. I'll say this on VFX and Chill. But you know what? Why not? I talk about this on VFX and Chill all the time. I should talk about my Maxon job too. If you like
should.
fire, the new Cinema 4D has some really fun pyro stuff. I am really bad at 3D, and it's really easy to make fire in Cinema 4D now, and it's really fun. So check it out. That's all.
What have you been lighting on fire in VFX and Chill? Have you been doing any?
On Friday, we're Hashi's got this whole T2, nuke skeleton thing.
Some thumbs ups.
That's going to be real great. Oh, thumbs up. That's probably what I'll be doing then. But no, he's got the nuke skeleton profile shot. He's recreated entirely in cinema. That's really cool.
It's amazing. Yes, I, on the other hand, have been, we suddenly went from like not having any work to like we got this big commercial job that also lands on, which is great, but it also lands on like, prepping for this short film and then also doing these like movie pitches that I kind of mentioned last time that, I'll talk about some more another time. But
I can't ask you about those.
I just don't want to share. I don't want to share too much.
It's not a talk show. We'll wait till the next talk show.
Yeah, we'll wait for the next one. But it's been a good week, busy week, but it's also, it's fun having the podcast as well. If you're listening to this, it's a week late because we've been busy working on stuff. So thanks for sticking around our podcast.
Yeah, thanks, Mom.
But just thank you to our moms and wives who listen to the podcast.
Is your mom finally listening to the podcast?
She has listened to a few episodes. We talked about it because I was like, but Seth's mom, we used to have a bit on our show in the early seasons of our show where we'd read Seth's mom's text on the air. So you have to like let me know what you think of the podcast. I haven't heard her reviews of any episodes, but she has told me
she's Jacob.pad is actually her screen name on it.
Yes, she's like, Spotify told me I liked it, but I haven't listened yet. Do you still get Seth's mom texts about Writers Room Game Show?
I do. She's gonna kill me if I read the whole thing.
She's like, I don't like the talk show episodes. So you have a potty mouth.
No. My mom. I got that from my mom. She she tried out iOS's dictation feature
Yes.
in the car and sent me this whole sentence.
Oh my God. Yeah, no punctuation at all.
And I'll read you a little bit of it. Hey, I'm driving and listening to your podcast, and I'm not very good at dictating text messages, but I'm going to do it anyway because I just wanted to tell you 2 things about halfway through. This episode is going to be like a therapy session for every single person who's out there trying to make a movie and trying to get it done by somebody. She's so good to hear you, into you. And Polly, talk about how the feelings that go with it are just a process that is so frustrating, and it's just a good therapy for somebody else to go, yeah, man, that's how I feel. It's okay. I can keep doing it. It's a good service you're doing with your podcast. It keeps going for a little while. It's huge stuff, small stuff, or it's getting you somewhere. I know you need to pay your bills, but you're a maker. You just make stuff. And I thought, yes, I know that feeling. And that's really cool that you and Paul E said that today says my long run on text for you. So glad to hear you talking again on your podcast. Love you. Bye, E. So
that's great.
Yep. She still listens.
All one sentence. I love it. I love that she
By
still
the way,
listens.
What I just read to you was about 1/10 of the entire text.
There's more.
Oh, buddy, there is so much
That is
more.
incredible. I love the fact too. I just imagine her just driving her car and talking for 10 minutes, and then that's one message.
That's a long talk. I am the second either it's a voice message or the actual like dictation, either one. The second that it starts, I feel a ticking clock going, and I feel the anxiety.
100%.
And I feel like I have to make sense. I have to say something that matters. Weirdly, I don't get that feeling when we hit record on a podcast. I probably should.
Hey, no, podcast is the medium where people almost expect you to talk for hours. Like they've come to expect it, and I think.
And that last episode, boy, oh boy, that was Seth still talking premium style.
Was it? Did you talk?
I feel like I did. Yeah, on Dub.
I felt like it was an even amount. It was mostly
as long as you and your Slack full of friends feel that way, then that's all that matters.
There's a few people on this Slack that always talk about is like, hey, why doesn't Seth let you talk? I'm like, he lets me talk. I can talk whenever I want to.
That's the most defensive response. I can talk whenever I want.
I choose to listen because I think he's an interesting person.
Aw, pal, you're so sweet.
But can we? I have a bone to pick with an iOS thing that I think it's a weird thing that they haven't changed yet.
All right, it's time to play. All right, it's pick that bone. Pick that bone. Do it, Polly.
But I'm sure you have something. You're a big Apple guy. I feel like you have mostly Apple products. You have even home speakers and stuff like that. So I know I'm
my house
preaching
is
the
full
choir
of
here.
HomePods.
So voice messages. They introduced voice messages like 6-7 years ago,
and then they did the full what's the term? The swap on us that confused all of us.
Oh, swapping the buttons around and not knowing the voice message is now dictation for that types of text. So that's weird. But my thing is, okay, you have voice messages, right? Let's say I record a 4-minute long voice message.
You can't pause it or scrub it or
once you press play, that thing plays. If you press pause, it goes back to the beginning and you got to start it all the way back over. Like, I have no idea why they don't have scrubbing on voice messages, because it's so, especially like having a child now, voice messaging has become really clutch for like me or Whitney if we have like a baby in our hands and we're like just trying to do a quick message and we can't type something out.
I thought you were going to say having a child and having you for a friend, Seth. I'll have these 4-hour-long voice messages you'll send me, and I have a child who distracts me midway through. Yeah. And my buddy Andy Miller taught me the practice of recording voice memos and texting those to people, because then they can actually like scrub and pause and re-listen to them. Because Andy's one of those people who likes to take a walk and just record like an hour of thoughts for you and text them to you.
But for that, you would have to record a new voice memo for every message, and then you just have those stored on your phone?
Yeah, it's like memories.
I guess it's like voicemails. It's kind of like voicemails.
Can you imagine what would happen if someone had to write a biography about you or based solely on your voice memos that you have saved?
It would be chaos for me.
It would be absolute chaos. Mine would be random sound effects, like random temp sound effects for stuff. So it would just be like me sitting on my couch 80 times.
Temp voiceovers for things. Like that's a lot of mine as well. And like awful like recordings of songs that I started to write and then gave up on.
Oh, mine are like songs that my kids wrote or something. Like I've got old recordings, or like sometimes when my kids are acting up, I'll record a voice memo of them just so I have evidence to show Arlie, like, this is how hard my life was today as a parent.
Yes, it's a lot of like voiceovers for commercials. I've got.
Can you play us some of the songs that you've written?
Well,
in there?
we I'll see if this plays through. I haven't listened to this since 2017. I made an ad. My friend has a gnome cone. It's called gnome cones. It's a snow cone.
Yeah.
There's a few locations here in North Texas. They started. It's this like gnome themed snow cone place. And I made that video for it in 2017. I actually used a lot of Red Giant products for titles, and then I used your brother's music before I met you guys. But I recorded an original song for the end of it, and it's gonna be so bad. Okay, bear with me here. There's a few poems that Brett, who owns Gnome Cones, wrote for their marketing. And if you want to just kind of this is going to be so bad singing these to this song, we'll probably do this on the green screen while you dance around. But I'll just do a version just so you know what I'm kind of talking about, and you kind of do your own thing. Bear with me. It's going to be super cheesy. So, anyways. Many a treat and a truffle I've tried, caramels and brittles and Turkish delights. None can compare to the love of my life, sweet syrup poured over a mountain of ice. Gnome cones. I have stuff like that sent to like people, and then also like original songs. This one is Whitney Snore. For some reason, I recorded my wife snoring. I'm sure to embarrass her later. Like
you're gonna play it?
I'm not gonna play that on a podcast. Absolutely not.
That's what I thought. I've got one called "Birds Fly Into My Heart," which, if I remember correctly, is a song Ava, my daughter, and I made up as a joke, where someone's singing "Birds Fly Into My Heart" while birds are flying into their chest over and over. Let me see what it sounded like.
A clip of this.
Birds fly, they fly into my heart.
I just wanted to remember the melody.
Yes, I wish we had a
the idea that
orchestral.
It would be more like birds fly, they fly into my heart. Like it just thumps of birds.
Yes, that's a Mouse Rat song, is what it is. Oh, Seth, it does sound like we're getting a phone call. Let me answer this phone call and see who it is. Here we go. Hello? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll let him know to check his email. Okay, thank you so much. It was actually the studio. He requested me not put him on speakerphone this episode, unfortunately. But he has sent you an email. Looking forward to seeing what we got for him today.
Okay, let's check it out, shall we? All right, so the email that I got, following up from the last week where we talked about doing a dialogue thing, seems like the studio was really into that.
Very cool. Definitely something surprising and unexpected that we didn't plan.
Just to catch everybody up on what that is exactly. So the studio today, they need us to write a screen test. They've got a movie set up with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but they don't have a script yet.
Okay.
But they need Joseph Gordon-Levitt to screen test opposite the other star of the film. They have to do this to see, like, it's a chemistry test. They want to see.
Yeah. So they just need like one scene basically to write for that. That's gonna work for Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Yeah.
And it's an action movie, so it needs to be roughly like, within that genre. It needs to be kind of a high stakes situation. The catch is the other character is a Muppet.
Ooh, okay, so like kind of an action comedy Muppet movie.
Yes.
Okay.
They haven't decided which Muppet it is, so we can either write an existing Muppet or we can write a new Muppet. The point is that,
Muppet Die Hard.
Yeah. It's basically Muppet Die Hard or Muppet Die Hard. It sounds like Muppet Die Hard with a vengeance.
Yes, I love that. Yeah.
It's going to be kind of a buddy comedy. So that's what we have for us today. We have to write a single dialogue scene that can be a screen test between Joseph Gordon-Levitt and a Muppet.
Okay. Do we have any other mandates or?
That's all they got for us.
Okay. Interesting. So they're changing it up this season. We're doing some dialogue this time, not just plot, not just outline.
Yeah. And because since it's a screen test, we're not going to be focus grouping it because we don't have Joseph Gordon-Levitt here. In fact, why don't I just go ahead and say that we're not going to do focus. How would you feel about not doing focus groups at all this season?
Seth, I think that'd be a great idea for our schedules. And
it would be. I don't think we have any more friends than the ones that we've had on the show.
Ease of organizations. I like that. We usually like to change it up each season. Obviously, season 1 to season 2, we
like to either make it easier on ourselves or harder on ourselves.
So what was it? Season 2, we added video. Season 3,
harder on ourselves.
We added an idea pile, and then it changed into us using our card game cards as ideas.
Literally forgot about that. Yeah.
the card game that we still would love to release one day, but we've
and still are going to. Yeah.
Yes, we're going to. And then this, I think we cut focus group, and we can just focus all of our time into developing and making these things. Then any guests we have, maybe we can just have them help us write stuff. See how it works.
See how it works.
Okay, so I think that means there's only one thing left to do, Seth.
Sing.
Hit the soundboard.
The Writers Room Game Show has begun.
You did it.
I hit the soundboard. Okay, and it means time's starting now too. Okay, time's starting. Man, we're rusty. Here we go.
We are. So I'm going to open up a document here. We're going to write a scene.
Yes.
I'll screen share it, I guess. Or how do we want?
We should screen share, and we can just, on our video version, we can just have that pulled up the whole time, if that works for you. Video version, of course, because this isn't only an audio podcast now. We also have YouTube, so check out writersroomgame.show. Check out us on YouTube, Weekend Videos YouTube. And I love that Seth just pulled up Highland 2, which is also my screenwriting app.
Here's the question. What theme do we want to use? We're currently using my plot device is dark. We can use Outrun 3.
Please tell me you use Highland Sands in your script writing.
I think I should, unless it's changed the setting. But yeah,
I love that we can write in Highland Sands and then we'll change it to Courier when you export.
Yes, I used to actually output it as Highland Sands in script format, and then
I did too, but I felt like people were judging me.
People were actively judging me, like telling me like this is wrong
don't do
and
this.
You're wrong, which made me want to do it even more. It made me want to be like, you know what? You don't know what you're talking about. Shut up.
What is it, Michael Scott? You have to stop. Well, now we're going to do it even harder.
Stop dating my mother!
You know what? I'm going to start dating her even harder.
What's that supposed to mean?
You know what it means.
Yeah, I like this. I like this theme. I like plot devices. I like our primary colors.
Because where's IA Writer? We can do IA Writer Dark, or we can just do the plot device dark. All right, so
the whole podcast is you
me picking a theme.
Changing.
By the way, this is my writing
theme.
process. My writing process is like spending like hours with unnecessary mise en scène.
My writing process is when I have a log line and no story yet, I go to Shot Deck and I find a ton of visuals and I'm like, this is awesome. This movie's going to be great. And I haven't written anything and I've yet to write anything about it. I should design a main title for this movie before writing it as well. So I do that. And then
again, that's significant. This is why we need to actually write something together for real, because you'll do all this productive stuff and I'll spend the whole time focusing on mise en place and like setting up my desk appropriately and like and my desktop, and like I'll build like automation tools to help me like log ideas and things, and then I'll write the day before it's due. So here's what I'm thinking. Action scene. To me, a high stakes situation in an action movie, it's like driven mostly by dialogue that doesn't require a lot of like physical, like blocking and action. First thing I think of is disarming a bomb. What do you think?
My local writers group, we actually have made lots of jokes about two people at a table, and you know what's interesting about the scene is that there's a bomb under the table the whole time, and it's like the audience knows that but they don't know it, and it's like this great way to
I love what you just pointed out, because a bomb under the table, because I was imagining disarming a bomb like it's too it's Joseph Gordon-Levitt and the Muppet
blue wire or the
leaned
red wire,
over but now I'm thinking it's great if we start it with the bomb under the table. How long can we keep it under the table until one of them can be like, can we put it on top of the table? Why is it under the table?
They're actually disarming it without looking at it, like,
yes.
Do you think we can move this thing, or
I think we can put this above the table? Like, do you think these people would care? And maybe it's like to try and avoid panic. Maybe they're on a train or something, and like trying to avoid panic, and so it's like.
And I like it like an old school sort of slow moving train through this beautiful nature. It's not like a bullet train situation.
Call the studio real quick and see if they can shoot it on a virtual stage, so we can like make a train set with like stuff going by in the background.
The phone is beeping right now because of the
as
sound
you type.
effects.
Yeah. Normally, I tell people when I'm calling that the phone is beeping.
Hey,
as
studio.
I type the keys.
No, it's Ryan. Hey, I have a question for you. Can we actually shoot this on a virtual stage? The screen test.
We want to build a train set.
Yeah. Like the volume.
A set of a train, not like a toy train set.
Okay, we can. Okay, Disney's behind it as well. Okay, great.
Why? What does that matter?
Okay, no, they're donating the virtual stage, the volume.
The volume
to us.
I'm pretty sure by now there are more virtual stages. I'm fairly confident half the stages in Nashville have been converted to virtual stages.
Disney specifically? Okay, thank you. Kind of a confusing phone call, but we're good to go.
I thought so. Okay, so interior.
They are kind of everywhere now. They're just freaking expensive to shoot on.
Interior train car
day. Yeah, it's got to be day because we're passing this beautiful nature. I like
We want the
idea
interactive
maybe,
light coming in.
You know, we start outside the window. You know, it's stuff passing, and then we like pull out, revealing them.
Can I tell you, all the best movies start first shot on like nature passing, and then pull back into a moving vehicle. This is going to be real funny to everybody a year and a half from now.
I just realized what you're referencing. And, it was just subconsciously. I'm just thinking about it. Seth.
Spoiler alert! That's how my movie starts. Everybody. All right,
we can do something different. We can do something different.
No. We're starting to do exactly that. We pull back in these, and we have Joseph Gordon-Levitt and a Muppet. Now, this Muppet, do we want it to be animal? Do we want it to be?
I feel like we gotta
Fozzie?
have one of the like. I think my favorite Muppet is Gonzo.
My favorite Muppet as a character as a whole is Gonzo, but my favorite Muppet to watch is the bear.
Fozzie Bear.
Nope, the other bear. Forget his name.
The massive bear.
Yes.
What's his name?
I've referenced this joke on the podcast, haven't I?
Yes, because we love Muppets, and I think that Renee's like a super Muppet fan, our editor.
Just in case I haven't, I know I've referenced it on the show, but just in case I haven't,
Bobo the bear.
Bobo the bear.
And
in case I haven't referenced it, yes,
the scene,
yes, with Jeffrey Tambor. But I think it's important that Rene plays it anyway, where Jeffrey Tambor asks for the remote, and the bear responds with this.
Rancho.
Yes, sir?
The remote.
The goat?
The goat! It's the best line ever spoken by anything.
That's actually a great impression, too, the way that you said it.
Oh, thanks.
Yes, okay.
We'll see how it holds
Bobo,
up when it's back-to-back with the actual clip when Rene puts it in. But so is it Bobo the Bear and Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
I kind of like that. I don't know Bobo the Bear as well, like the voice, like his...
He's
But I don't mean the actual voice, but like
I'll keep doing it.
The personality of the character, and sort of like it kind of just seems like that grumpy sort of like. I think we do it. I think we do Bobo the Bear and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Let's just let's go all in on it. The only thing, so Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I think we talked about this in the past, but he's such a good like straight man that I feel like Bobo the Bear, we really need to make him that sort of kind of crazy character where maybe he is the dope maybe of the two of them, where Joseph Gordon-Levitt really knows what he's doing, and Bobo is sort of
yes, 100%. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's a straight man in this situation, and the Muppet is the one making all of the wrong choices. But part of me, I'm kind of like, do we really want it to be Bobo, or do we want it to be kind of a quicker Muppet? Because I do like the idea of cutting back and forth. I like the idea of having a Muppet that has long arms that can can be like doing stuff under the table, and then like you want those
that's why I think we have Gonzo, then we have the little rat.
Okay, have it your way. See if I care. I don't have to take this abuse. I quit.
The little rat guy.
Rizzo. The thing about Gonzo is Gonzo going to be the funny? I feel like Gonzo isn't going to have packed the comedy punch to me that like maybe another character might, because Gonzo thinks everything he's saying is funny,
Yes.
You'll live to regret this.
We intend to.
I would want it to be a character that also like can speak English, and like they can have some rapport. Because if it's something like Beaker and they're just like me the whole time, like there's something funny.
But yeah, I know.
There's something funny about that, especially in a screen test where he just like it's basically a monologue with a character that is can't speak English. So I feel like that needs.
That is a fun challenge though, to like try and write this whole scene with Beaker.
There is no way this paper can burn. With Muppet's fireproof paper, you'll always feel secure.
But yeah, and I don't want it to be like one of the main like Kermit or Piggy. Like it's got to. I really want it to be.
It's
one
either
of those.
Like Pepe the Prawn is the other incredibly funny Muppet that's a little bit newer that I love.
Yeah. Oh, hey Carmen, when will you fix the oven, okay?
What's wrong with the oven?
That? There is a menu correction, okay? We will now be serving bologna sandwiches. But no bread.
Oh, the Swedish Chef is also my favorite. I have several.
The Swedish Chef is very funny. Man, I kind of yield to you, man. I think
don't yield to me.
I still think Gonzo's just such a great character for this, but you're right. He isn't as funny and off the wall, because he's usually the character that's sort of playing almost like the protagonist usually.
Yeah.
In the Muppets movies, where he's like the point of view character, and then
he's
the
really
other
funny.
ones are the crazy ones.
Yeah. He's like, I think it's like when he's I don't know, maybe we can make him funny again. Oh, Rolf is also very funny.
Hey, Rolf.
Hey! Son of a bitch! No. That's the nicest thing a dog can say about anybody.
Yeah.
Rolf. Oh yes, yes. And
Rolf has the funniest joke in the Jason Segel Muppets.
Wow, I can't believe we're all back together. Even all you guys who weren't in the montage.
Yeah, how come you didn't use me in the montage? I thought my story was pretty interesting.
Rolf?
Huh?
Want to get back together?
Okay.
Good.
Classic.
dude, the old men need to be sitting in a few rows behind them, like tell them to be quiet or something like that.
100%.
The cranky old men.
Well, our screen test, I don't know if we can work them all in. We got to keep it down to this two.
That's true. It's one scene. Damn it.
I could go with Gonzo. We could do Gonzo. I think we can keep Gonzo
I came all the way around. I'm ready to go with Bobo, the bear.
All right, let's try it with Bobo.
And I think his size and how slow he is could almost help the situation if it's a very timely sort of, 2 minutes before this bomb goes off. How slow he is and how big he is can almost contribute to, like, if he's the one that has to be like cutting the wires or something, like,
Okay. Sorry. Keep going.
No,
I'm so sorry.
I was just going to say the
epiphany.
visual of this little pair of scissors and his like massive hands is kind of funny to me.
100%. And he has to cut, like, there's like little wires and he's just shaking his. Hang on. So we got to write all of these. Tiny scissors shaking hands, classic Friday Night Lights quote. So my idea, bomb starts under the table, and I have an idea for how the scene can open.
Dude, I'm already like, we got to do every episode this season, just one scene, an episode.
I kind of agree. Maybe we should just do this.
This is already so fun.
So I'm thinking the scene could start with, you start on the trees, you pull back. So hang on, let's just write. Okay, so I would normally write it like this, by the way, and I'll tell you why I shouldn't, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. Fade in.
And sound. You're writing sounds out.
Trees. And it goes, so fade in, trees, passing quickly. I'll come up with a better adverb later, or maybe none. As we pull back to reveal we're in.
We're so similar
writing.
where we write stuff like this, and then the AD is like, well, what scene is that? And you're like, well, it's still part of the first scene,
movie.
But the scene doesn't start before.
Dude, my movie has like 180 something scenes, or maybe 200 something scenes because of that very thing, because I would just like.
And how many times are you having to force scene headers on your scripts because of
so many? I've started doing this action, but the problem is then it doesn't end up in the scene, and we end up forgetting to shoot the pre-lap dialogue.
Yeah.
Anyway, fade in, trees, passing. Okay, terrible writing. This is terrible writing. It's a first draft. Passing quickly as we pull back to reveal we're in a. Oh god, that's the worst writing. Interior train car day. Here's what I'm thinking.
I think we continue to pull back, revealing the table, and then we continue to pull back there, revealing the bomb under the table.
Here's what I'm thinking. Pull back interior train car day, where we find Joe
and Bobo.
I don't know how to describe him. We'll just say Joe and Bobo.
Yeah, I imagine Joe kind of like your John McClane. He's kind of at the age now where he can be a little bit of like, he's been in this job for a while,
and he's been Bruce Willis before as well.
That's true. He has been literal Bruce Willis before.
Where we find Joe sitting silently across from Bobo the bear, who is on the phone. This is all terrible writing, but here we go. So I'm thinking he's on the phone.
No, we got to get it out, man. We got 30 minutes.
And Bobo into phone.
The goat?
And he's going, yeah, right.
That's so good, dude. I'm going to play. And then please listeners, go to YouTube and watch this one and look at the script because it is absolutely fantastic.
Right. Okay.
Yes, that's his voice. It's gonna. Yeah. This is absolutely perfect.
It's like right. Okay. Joe is getting after a few beats of this.
I don't even want to participate, Seth. I just want to like watch you.
I just have an idea for how to open it, and then it's all us.
No. So I wasn't being sarcastic. I really do. This is great.
Well, after a few beats of this into phone,
all right.
He goes. He's got it all cheerfully. All right. Sounds great.
Yeah. It's the ending of the phone call that's always the hardest. Yeah.
Great talking to you.
And then, yep, okay.
Yeah, that's great. Beep.
Yes, it's beep. And Joe sits there ready for him to end the phone call, and then it continues on.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Great talking to you. Joe sits up, ready to hear.
Yes.
Ready to hear how the call went, and then still on the phone. Great talking to you, too.
Great. Says it again. This is an entire page of the script. Oh, man.
All right. Love you.
Love you, too. You gotta put love you, too.
Love you, too.
Like, They have said love you.
He finally hangs up.
It was a terrorist the whole time.
This is where I'm going. He gets up and goes, all right, there's a bomb under the table. that's my pitch that I wrote.
I love this. By the start of page 2, all we've seen is him on the phone responding, and then he's like, "Yeah, there's a bomb under the table." And then at that point, music. Now we're in an action movie.
Oh, there's a bomb under the table, and then you can do the title. That's so good. Also, how did they not notice the bomb under their own table? All right.
Yeah, that's when it like cuts wide and it's a massive bomb.
It's a huge bomb. A massive bomb.
It's that classic, what's that, Top Secret? Is that the movie? It's like,
Top Secret's brilliant.
There's so many of those great visual gags where it's like obvious in the world of that the actors are in, they would be able to see these things, but they don't see anything until the camera sees it. So it's like this great gag where, oh no, there's a bomb there. And it's like, you could have seen that the entire time.
There is, in fact, a massive, unignorable bomb.
Do you imagine? I imagine this as sort of like, tons of silver and aluminum and lots of wires and blinking lights.
Oh, yeah. So here's the thing. We do want... I don't know if it's tons of wires because I love your idea of the tiny scissors, like and there being like a tiny.
They open up a little compartment and there's the smallest wires you've ever seen.
How would they put this bomb back on top of the table?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I do love the idea of cutting to just this giant like tanks under the table. Like that's what it's like, tanks and stuff, and they can move kind of the bomb, the like electrical part, kind of up above on top of the table, maybe, right?
Yeah. Maybe there's a long wire going to the massive bomb on the table, and it's just like a little
we do need to get a good amount of like awkwardness of trying to work with it under the table, and like do I lay toward you, do I
okay, so
also Joe hasn't said a word yet.
Hasn't said a word. we're a page in, and this is for his screen test, but there's a lot of reaction here, and acting is reacting, that's what they always say. So okay, how does Joe enter the conversation now? So Bobo was either speaking to like a terrorist who put the bomb there, or he's
That's
speaking
what I'm
to.
thinking. No, I'm thinking he's
okay.
So let's take away "Love You Too."
yes. That almost is so like even funnier though to me. Like it makes no sense.
How about just you two?
Yeah, you two. Just very cordial.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, great talking to you too.
And again, no, you hang up.
Oh, man, all right. I'm loving it so much. Okay.
There's a bomb under the table. So there's in fact a giant unnormal bomb under the table. And did Joe know there's a bomb under the table? And he's like,
no, I think they're both finding this out now. And he's like, what the? We need to feel like this scene is maybe not the start of a brand new thing, but we're joining them sort of in the middle of
100%.
So maybe having some implied. I'm trying to think of how to get into his conversation of his character. If he is that John McClane type, he's probably the one that's going to have to be guiding, either doing the diffusing or guiding Bobo through the diffusing of this bomb in order to save everybody.
All right, let's have his hands be injured. He's got bandages around his hands.
Like
right?
Like the cop in Jingle All the Way.
Gentlemen, you've been duped. This is nothing but a harmless Christmas package.
That was really a bomb? Just a sick world we're living in. Sick people.
Jesus.
Which is, I already regret that reference. But yes, both hands are completely bandaged and comically, white bandage.
Let's add this up here. We find Joe sitting across from Bobo the Bear, who's on the phone. They both look like they've been through
the ringer.
Day. Yeah, been through the ringer. A machine that rings.
that rings things. Oh, man, that's great.
Let's see. Both of Joe's hands are wrapped.
And I like the idea of he
bandages.
Just like he's cut up, he's bruised. Bobo looks like pristine. He obviously has been doing the easy jobs the entire time.
Okay, so let me change that.
That's true, yeah. Joe.
So let's say we find Joe sitting at a table. He looks like
he's been through the ringer.
He's been through the ringer.
Rings things. Sitting
both of his hands are wrapped in bandages.
And he's cut and bruised.
And he's got cuts and bruises every which way.
Sitting across from him is Bobo the Bear.
He sits across Bobo the Bear.
In caps, because yes, we write in caps when we introduce characters to the script.
So here's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he should have one Band-Aid. Sorry, who has one Band-Aid on his forehead.
Yes, there you go.
Because I think that sets us up for more because they need to start arguing in a second. So here's what I'm thinking. There's a bomb under the table. Immediately, Joe needs to be like, it took you that entire call to receive that information? Because I can control the rate at which he dispenses information to me. I feel like they need to argue over the length of time real quick. Again, this is that granular. The reason we got onto this was Blake Rizzo asked us on the last episode about dialogue.
Could be snappy dialogue,
And for me, it's about just indulging every character's pettiest quips that they could possibly have.
Especially a buddy cop kind of thing like this, where it's like they've already been arguing this entire day. And this is just kind of like, the climax of this day that they've been through.
How did it take?
It take 10 minutes.
A 10-minute call. No, hang on. 30-minute. 30-minute call to dispense that one
piece of information.
That one highly specific piece of information. That's too much. How did it take a 30-minute call to dispense that? To communicate that? That's it.
Yeah, I can't control the rate at which he dispenses information.
Yeah.
Highland 2, shout out. Rate. Yes, I can't control the rate at which he dispenses information, says Bobo the Bear. Also, he was very nice. I feel like that's a cut in after Joe has already started saying his next sentence. Good. And then he cuts him off.
Also, it was very nice. So go easy on him. Let's see. So
he's literally trying to kill us and everyone on this train.
Okay. So Joe says something in brackets. We'll come back to that.
What is brackets? What is a double bracket in Highland 2? What does that do in the note. Formatting? Oh, a note. Okay.
So what it's really useful for is over here in the sidebar here. You can see it then gets
so you can
called
visit
out,
it quickly,
so you can come back to it later. Yeah,
that's great.
Joe something. Also, he was very nice.
So cut him a break.
Let's say polite. He was very polite. I like that Bo's not listening, he's just continuing his thought. So cut him a break.
Yeah, he's not listening to Joe at all. He's just continuing this sentence.
I'm not going to cut him a break.
I'm not going to cut him a break. He's trying to kill us.
He's a terrorist. He's literally the person.
Yeah, I feel like Joe would be the person that say, like, this is why they say they don't negotiate with terrorists.
Yeah, not going to cut him a break. He's a terrorist. He's literally the person.
I feel like we've got to keep it firmly in a Muppet movie, too. It's something like Muppet Treasure Island or, there's still stakes and people are still, quote unquote, dying in these movies. Yeah. They don't really show that, but there's still, like, it still feels like very, like, it's appropriate for kids, but it's also, like, for adults. They're
that Jim Henson's original vision always was the Muppets he was very intentional about it being it's not just for kids. Like the very first Muppet special was called Sex and Violence, which I think is very funny.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the end of sex and violence on television. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Muppet Show.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I never knew that. I mean, I enjoyed Muppets way more as an adult than I did as a kid.
Not going to come on break. He's a terrorist.
It seems pretty harsh. I wonder if Joe has, at this point in his... Can we talk
about something else?
I was about to say, I feel like Joe, he's so petty at this point of the day where he's like he's so over this being partnered with him and having to do all this that he almost would rather just insult him than actually defuse the bomb under the table. And Bobo has to be the one that brings it back to the bomb after this.
Oh, he was like, can we talk about something else? And he's like, sure, what do you want to talk about? And he like kind of humors him and he's like, and Bobo's like, I don't know. And he's like, but the bomb. No, I'm making Joe too much of an ass. Let's see.
I kind of like him being an asshole though. It's great because the audience is already going to love the Muppet,
and Joseph Gordon-Levitt because he's Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Yes. You're sympathizing with a terrorist now. You're actively doing it.
Can we talk about something else?
So Joe says,
I think sure. Sure. What do you want to talk about? And then he starts to say a sentence, and Joe's like, let's talk about the bomb under the table.
How about if he's like, is that all he said? Or how about what else did he say?
I wish Bobo could just, he would never say this, but like, yeah, we shot the shit a little bit, but,
Let's see. What else did he say? That can't be all he said. So there's a bomb under the table. He's like listing it. Hang on, let's see. Thinking back.
I like
so there's a bomb under the table.
I like him starting with a bunch of other things and then ending with, and there's a bomb under the table.
There goes, bomb under the table. It's going to explode. That's redundant.
If it's a ticking clock, it's going to explode in 2 minutes. It's like, wait, that was 30 seconds ago. You have to start with that.
Oh, okay. It's going to explode naturally. And then he says, and we have 2 minutes. That's excellent. That was 30 seconds ago.
I like the idea too of Joe, like just from being scared, he like goes to reach down under the table and grab the bomb, and he has the bandage hands, and he's like fumbles it up. Oh no, we got to start with them under the table and then bring it over top. We got to come.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking is what they do. If Joe wants to go get it, and Bobo's like, hey, no, well, look, there's people on this train. We don't want to freak people out. They're gonna.
They turn over the shoulder. That's when we could have a little Muppet cameo. A few.
Okay, there's a joke that I love. We can just steal it. It's from steal it from Aaron Sorkin, as he goes, because this isn't real. Timothy
Chalamet.
Busfield has a line in Studio 60, not Sorkin's best work, but there's a scene where snakes get loose in the studio, and he goes, you tell me there's a poisonous viper loose in the studio? And somebody turns and goes, what? He goes, nothing, it's slang.
That's great.
Just like the term nothing, it's slang. Like, oh, nothing, it's slang.
That's great. Yes,
that was 30 seconds. Should there be a little bit of argument of like, that was 30 seconds ago? Right. Could there be confusion about the timing? Like maybe Bobo said 2 minutes when it was actually 2.5 minutes? Oh, here we go. Yeah. That was 30 seconds ago. Oh.
Well, he said 2.5 minutes, so I was doing the math.
I know this is one of my favorite things is to create mass confusion between two characters. So Joe was like, that was 30 seconds ago. So his assumption is that the terrorist said 2 minutes, but really the terrorist said 3 minutes. Bobo thought it did a minute, but it actually been 30 seconds. So what we do here is
mass confusion.
Yeah. So, and we have 2 minutes. That was 30 seconds ago. Was it?
He said there's a bomb on the table.
That means
we have explode naturally, and we have 2 minutes. That was 30 seconds ago, was it?
Was it? Oh, and that means we have
2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, there we go. And then he can be like,
"Wait, so he told you it was 3 minutes?"
He goes, "That's not math."
That's a classic Seth line right there. That's not math. I love it.
It's whatever time is.
What if Bobo was like, "You're right. It's
time,
science."
All right, it's time. It's science.
Maybe at this point, a little action line. Joe reaches down to grab the bomb, realizes that...
We do have to clarify the time thing, the confusion. We still have a couple lines left
Joe
on that.
Joe still is confused on the time. Okay, we have 2 minutes. That was 30 seconds ago. Was it? Oh, then that means we have 2 minutes, 30 seconds. That's not math. All right, because it's time. Right. It's science.
It's science. And he goes, it was 30 seconds ago. He told you we had 2 minutes. So you subtract the 30 seconds. Oh, so it is math. Is this going to make any sense to listeners?
No, I please, listeners, if you are confused and still want to check this, it's on YouTube. Check it out. This is a lot of fun. We have the script up on the screen, or just skip to the end. I'm sure we'll do a table read at the end.
Well, trick is, I want so it is math, but I don't have another line for Joe. I need Bobo to actually clarify now.
What if you?
Here we go. He'll just reiterate, which means we have.
They're arguing while the time is just slowly running out of the bomb.
A minute, and we might need to go back and adjust this time, but a minute and 30 seconds.
Which means we have a minute and 30 seconds?
Minute and 30 seconds.
But, yeah. Well, he told me...
He actually said... here we go. Well, that's good. What is it?
He told me 3 minutes, but I had subtracted a minute because I thought that's how long it was when time had passed.
Okay, this is great.
At some point, Joe has been... I'm just going to look at the clock, and he goes down, and it's just...
Or if he goes, that's great. If he goes, well, he told me 3 minutes, but I subtracted a minute because that's how much time I thought had passed. And then by the end of his... He'd be like, okay, so how much time has passed? A minute. All right, so we have 2 minutes.
It goes all the way back around. I love that so much, dude.
He told me 3 minutes, but I subtracted a minute because that's how much time I thought had passed. So he told you how many minutes?
Wait, but he just said he told me 3 minutes, but I subtracted.
He's just clarification. He's like, so he told you how many minutes? Like
3
for clarification.
Maybe, and then Bobo was like,
how much time has passed?
How much time has passed? 1 minute.
So we have 2 minutes.
I like the idea of two of them. So we have 2 minutes. They stare at each other for a beat and then break for the bomb underneath the table.
Joe just stares at him.
You thinking what I'm thinking? Is that what you're about to say?
I was going to say, you think they serve food here? Is what I was going to say.
I love the fact that he's absolutely not concerned with this bomb whatsoever. He trusts this guy that he just had a 30-minute phone call with so much that he's like, it'll be fine.
That should come back around, by the way. I think we should, what you just said. They serve food here?
We have, by the way, 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh, wow. Right. Joe reaches under the table to get the bomb.
To get the bomb.
Whoa.
We don't want to scare people.
What are you doing? I almost typed JoJo.
I'm defusing this. I'm getting the bomb, you idiot.
Getting the bomb, you idiot.
Why the hostility?
I feel like he's a little underwritten in this pass, but that's okay.
He kind of is. Like, Bobo is the star of this screen test.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, man.
I'm getting the bomb, you idiot. And Bobo says, he's got to be like, there's kids in this tree. What if he... I'm giving Bobo all the best stuff, but if he goes, like, we're really giving Bobo the best, if he goes, oh, and he tries to, like, say it, like, subtly, like, there's kids on this train. He's like, I don't understand a word you're saying. Like,
keep it down. There's people here. We got to hide this thing. Yeah, there's kids on this train.
Indiscernible mutter.
There you go.
And I'll use no vowels.
Seth has written out the word THRSK. DSN. I think it sounds like a. There's kids on the stream. We're playing cool.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't understand a word that is coming out of your mouth.
I don't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. This is Rush Hour with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
No one understands the words that are coming. I like the idea of him getting slowly louder too, and then by the end he's yelling, "There's kids on this train." Joe would be a little bit more concerned with getting the bomb at this point too. Like he's like in the process of like trying to get the bomb too.
I know. I just added impatient to try and keep the stakes up. But I think he's like he's wanting to get to it.
Yeah,
but
he's trying to get it. Yeah.
A little louder. Same thing. I'll just copy and paste it.
You copy and paste the same words.
Although it needs to be all in caps. So there's kids. Turn.
Can you please just help me with this thing?
I can't believe you think that. Yeah, that's good. No, you're right. I was going to say, I can't believe you think that you're saying something.
I like the idea of these little scissors come out of nowhere too. Like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Joe pulls out like a go bag and it's got these little scissors that can that can cut wires and bombs. Where'd you get that bag? Because it's like, why would they have that on them?
Maybe they provided it. Oh, look at that. It's so cute. Because the terrorist is a mouse.
It's amazing. I love that backstory. It's Rizzo.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know it.
It's I don't know if it can't be. That's I don't know. Well, I'm not putting that in Rizzo. I'm not putting Rizzo in that place. I'm not putting that in Rizzo. Okay, can you please just
defuse the bomb right now?
And that's where right now is good. It's great. Right now, right now, and then Bobo's like, "There's kids on this train. We gotta play it cool, hey kids."
Like, we gotta play it cool. Okay. Well, Joe can say something like, well, in order for those kids to still be alive,
like you said, he yells it. I'm thinking you say he yells it. He's like, there's kids on this train. We got to play it cool. Hey, kids. Hey. Like, you know what I mean? Like, realizes he's loud.
Yeah, right when
screaming.
That moment happens, kids walk by their chairs, their table.
To the kids.
Immediately realizing he's screaming is what Seth has written for this line.
Immediately realizing he's screaming, turns to kids who are staring at them. Hey, kids, what's cracking?
Joe, at this point, wiggity, wiggity. Hey, kids, what's cracking? Wiggity, wiggity. Joe's like, okay, then we need
to... Stop talking to those children.
And it's like, then
They're going to die if you don't. Yeah. Well, is that right, what you were saying?
I think, yes. And I think he needs to, at this point, we pull it up over the table. We're like, we'll be discreet, okay? We'll be discreet. Pulls a little device from under the table with the wire on it.
He goes, okay, what if he does this? We'll be discreet. And then he puts his hands under the table. A beat.
I just tried scrolling up on your script while you were writing, and I'm like, wait, no, this isn't my screen.
After a beat.
I'm diffusing it under the table.
He's like, and then there's a beep. I'm thinking, and there's like a, like some kind of sound. We don't see anything.
They've lost more time. They've lost 10 seconds.
I'm discreetly this bomb. Let's see. What's the term for when you say like, I'm discreetly diffusing this bomb? Like, how do I type that pace? Because I think it's funniest if right then is like, I'm discreetly diffusing this bomb
with a musical rhythm. Is what I would write.
Sing-songy rhythm.
I also think they need to pull it back over the table, and then they open it up and they find a little scissors. Yeah. And then he needs to call back to like, I told you he was a nice man, or something like that. Like he's like helping them almost.
There's immediately
a threatening beep.
Electrical sound. Followed by a rapid beeping that wasn't there before.
I feel like we need to call back to like the time conversation from like a page back.
If he like peeks under, Joe just stares at him.
Bobo can say something like, I think that was math. or something like that.
What if he goes, Joe visibly freaks out? What if he, like, I like your idea. So, at the time, the poem about it, Joe visibly freaks out. Bobo discreetly peeks under the table.
Discreetly.
We don't see what he sees. What happened? What'd you do?
Yeah, what'd you do? I like what'd you do with a question mark exclamation point. What do you call that? That's
how much time has passed?
How much time has passed?
Since when?
Since when? That's perfect.
Since I hung up the phone.
I think at that point, since when is the end, the punchline to that joke, and I think Bobo should just like be like, maybe I should just grab this thing. Maybe discreet wasn't the right idea or something like that.
Because I was gonna lead to like they lost time, but we don't have a lot of time for them to lose. Like since when? Maybe I should just discreetly. And then he brings a huge bomb up onto the table.
Yeah, maybe I should just discreetly place this on our table to make it.
Heaves the massive bomb up onto the table. Kids are looking at them again.
He looks over, wiggity wiggity. And Joe cuts him off, just like, okay, just focus. And maybe at this point, Joe is walking him through how to defuse it. He's like, just open this compartment. Bobo, focus on the bomb.
Oh, they need to call it something.
Something more specific than the device.
The device, you say?
And then, yeah, at this point, he's just like walking him through the compartments. I'm interested to see what the timing is actually like if we do a read of this in a few minutes.
I kind of wanted the kid to be like, it's clearly a bomb. Like, you're clearly a bomb.
The device, you say?
Device, you say?
I need you to open that small compartment on the top. I need you to open this compartment. After all we've been through today, you still don't trust me? I'm just saying.
Been through today, you still don't trust me.
Well, maybe he makes
maybe if you talked a little nicer to me.
Yeah. Oh, this character rules. I love Bobo. Open the compartment.
Open the motherfucking compartment. I'm just going to do a bleep.
Discreet. What did I say about discreet?
Discreet.
Discreetly opening the compartment.
The bomb.
Okay. Oh, looks. Well, that's when they find the tiny scissors, maybe in the compartment.
To find another compartment. I was just thinking they just keep opening tiny compartments into like one tiny one.
A Russian doll of tiny compartments in this bomb.
We'll just put Russian doll of bomb compartments in notes in brackets, so we'll come back to that sometime. So then eventually they get to, it's a tiny compartment with tiny wires and a tiny pair of scissors.
I think Bobo needs to say, see, he included the scissors. I told you he was a nice man.
Oh, look, he included the scissors. Yeah, it's good. Told you he wasn't all bad. And then that's when the bomb should be like,
Joe's
exploding.
Like, 10 seconds left.
Oh, and he goes, I told you the terrorist wasn't all bad. I heard it. I heard it like you heard it too.
Oh, look, he included the scissors.
Scissors.
Oh, I heard it too. I heard it's bad. He's a bad guy.
I told you the terrorist wasn't all bad. Nope, I heard it too. It's bad. He's a bad guy. All right, now take the scissors.
And cut the blue wire. Or was it the red wire? Discreetly cutting blue wire.
The blue one?
Yes.
The light. Yeah.
This is a bad time to mention I'm colorblind.
That's good. Well, okay, that's good.
Yes. The
blue wire.
The blue wire. The blue one? Yes.
Yes. Why else would I say
cut the blue wire? Why would I say cut the blue wire if I meant the red one? Wait, the red one? No.
Did you mean the red one?
Yes, 10 seconds left at this point.
I'm going to cut you. Okay. Yeah, I don't know where this is going to end.
Yes, I feel like it needs to end just with them. Well, we have to have the action line of him, his big bare hands shaking as he goes towards the blue wire with his little tiny scissors and cutting it, and then the clock stopping, and then like Joe taking like a sigh of relief, like we did it. And then he gets a phone call. He jumps back on the phone call, and his new personal hell is listening to him on another phone call for 30 minutes or something like that. Maybe not.
I like him getting another call.
Yep, we did it. Yep.
All right, so I'm just gonna put they cut the wire through comedy scene.
Through comedy
in
scene.
Brackets. Come back to that, and then we're gonna end with them like Joe's phone rings. Joe, okay. Joe's like, Bobo goes to get it. How about this? But Joe reaches out and grabs it, answering with his nose.
Yeah, we need a good punchline to kind of seal, to have a.
Well, I was thinking there's a couple things. One is he goes, "We defused the bomb, you son of a bitch. Now tell us where the gold is," or something. And then, and then he's like, Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. All right, you too. Yeah.
And he completely changes tone.
Just warms up. Yeah, completely warms up.
And then he starts laughing. Yes.
And Bubba's like, y'all talking about me?
That's great. I actually love that a lot. We defuse the bomb, you son of a bitch. Now tell us where the gold is.
Tell us where the president is.
Yeah, that's president. I love and it's revealed that these two guys are trying to save the president. That is so good. Oh my gosh.
This was, I think, a home run in my opinion.
This is absolute blast. Yes, if you're still listening, I'm sure Renee's going to have to cut this episode down quite a bit because we've been silently writing on a script, but definitely feel free to check out the YouTube writersroomgame.show and I think probably we'll export a PDF of this screenplay and put it on Twitter or something like that. I think that would be fun. You guys can see that, but we might try this experiment a few times this season, if not every episode, because it's a lot of fun just writing a scene as opposed to plotting an entire movie, which we'll still do. This has been really great. I think before we end it too, we need to do a little table read of the entire scene. And of course, you're going to be doing Bobo's voice because
all right.
I love it.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, I'll read the action and do Joe's lines. Okay, here we go. Fade in. Trees passing quickly as we pull back to reveal we're in a interior train car day, where we find Joe sitting at a table. He looks like he's been through the ringer, a machine that rings things. Both of his hands are wrapped in bandages, and he's got cuts and bruises every which way. He sits across from Bobo the bear, who has one band-aid on his forehead. He's on the phone.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
After a few beats of this...
All right. Sounds great. Great talking to you.
Joe sits up, ready to hear how the call went.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Absolutely. Great talking to you, too. All right. You too. You too. Yep. Yep. All right. Great talking to you. Great talking to you, too. Okay. All right. All right, bye.
He finally hangs up. Joe looks to him to hear how it went.
There's a bomb under the table.
Wider. There is in fact a massive, unignorable bomb under the table. How did it take a 30-minute call to communicate that?
I can't control the rate at which he dispenses information.
Something.
Oh. Also, he was very polite.
Something else.
So cut him a break. We did not write Joe.
We did not write Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I'm glad there's not a focus group. I'm not going to cut him a break. He's a terrorist.
Seems pretty harsh.
You're sympathizing with the terrorist now. You're actively doing it.
Can we talk about something else?
Okay. What else did he say? That can't be all he said.
He said there's a bomb under the table.
Uh-huh.
It's going to explode.
Naturally.
And we have 2 minutes.
That was 30 seconds ago.
Was it? Oh, then that means we have 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
That's not math.
Oh, right, because it's time. It's science.
It was 30 seconds ago. He told you we had 2 minutes, so you subtract the 30 seconds.
Oh, so it is math.
Which means we have 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Well, he told me 30 minutes, but I subtracted a minute because that's how much time I thought had passed.
So he told you how many minutes?
3. How much time has passed?
1 minute.
So we have 2 minutes.
Joe stares at him for a beat.
You think they serve food here?
Joe reaches under the table to get the bomb.
Whoa! What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm getting the bomb, you idiot.
There's kids in the booth. We're gonna play cool.
You're not saying anything.
There's kids in the booth. We're gonna play cool.
Can we please defuse the bomb right now?
There's kids on this train. We gotta play it cool. Hey, kids, what's cracking? Wiggity wig.
Stop talking to those children. They're going to die if we don't defuse this bomb.
Device. We'll be discreet.
He puts his hands under the table after a beat. What are you doing?
I'm discreetly defusing this bomb.
There's immediate electrical sound followed by rapid beeping that wasn't there before. Joe visibly freaks out. Bobo discreetly peeks under the table. We don't see what he sees. What did you do?
How much time has passed?
Since when?
Maybe I should just discreetly...
He heaves the massive bomb up onto the table. The kids are looking at them again. To the kids.
Wiggity, wiggity.
Bobo, focus on the bomb.
The device, you say?
I need you to open this compartment.
How do you know what you're doing?
After all we've been through today, you still don't trust me?
Well, maybe if you talk to me a little nicer.
Open the mother***ing compartment.
Discreetly opening the bomb.
He opens the compartment to find another compartment. Russian dolls of bomb compartments. Eventually, it's a tiny, tiny compartment with tiny, tiny wires and a tiny, tiny pair of scissors.
Oh, look, he included the scissors. I told you the terrorist wasn't all bad. Nope, I heard it too. It's bad. He's a bad guy.
All right, now take the scissors and cut the blue wire.
Blue one?
Yes! Why else would I say cut the blue wire if I meant the red one?
Did you mean the red one?
I'm gonna cut you. They cut the wire through a comedy scene, which will be written, or maybe not. I kind of like it not being written. Bobo's phone rings. Bobo goes to get it, but Joe reaches out and grabs it anyway, answering with his nose. We defused the bomb, you son of a bitch. Now tell us where the president is. Uh-huh. No. Yeah. Huh. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Huh. Oh, thanks. Yeah. No. I appreciate that. That's really observant of you.
Y'all talking about me?
That was so great.
And scene.
We're not going to say the titles because I'm sure by the time this episode comes out, we're going to have an amazing title for this scene.
Absolutely.
For this movie.
And if you are on the Discord, we'll post the script in the Discord for people to read if they like.
There you go. Discord. Check it out in the show notes. WritersRoomGame.show. Seth, this is freaking great. I think we should do this a lot this season.
I think that's what we're doing this season. This is
you want to do it every episode?
This is the scene writing season. Yeah,
okay, yes, totally. I love that. And it's almost more practical, and hopefully viewers and listeners can take something from the actual script writing process, not just like story development this time around.
If you can take anything from this,
if anything, I hope this encourages people to get with their friends and do this, because it's just like riffing on this stuff. Like, we wrote a very funny scene that nothing will ever come from it, but it's like
cut to Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, Seth and Ryan's first co-directorial
Die Hard with the Muppets.
No, tell us where the president is.
Cut to, no, tell us where the president is.
The Writers Room Game Show with me, Ryan Pollard, and Seth Worley. Executive produced by Grant Wakefield at Weekend Video and Ann Fogerty at Plot Devices. Edited to perfection by Rene Gomez. Our art is by your buddy, Meg Lewis, and our face-melting music is by Ben Worley. The Writers Room Game Show is a Weekend Video production in association with Plot Devices. Learn more about Weekend Video at weekend.video and check out writersroomgame.show to listen to all of our episodes and suggest your own prompts for future shows. And don't forget to rate and review our show on Apple Podcasts. It really helps our show out a lot. See you in the next one.